Hello, geometry geniuses. I hope you have your thinking caps on for this one because we've never done one like this in class, but I bet you can figure out how to do it. All right, we have a figure that's a cylinder with a radius of 6 inches, and you'll notice that this diagram shows us the diameter, but it tells us that the radius is 6 inches. So I'm going to put a 6 right here just so I don't forget that. I'm going to underline it too, just so I can find it again. A height of 13 inches. So this is the radius, this is the height. And then lo and behold, somebody came along and smacked a hemisphere on it. What's a hemisphere? It's just a half of a sphere. Hemi means half. So this is a half of a sphere stuck on top of this cylinder. All right, now it also has a radius of 6 inches. Okay, so it's a perfect fit. And our job is to find the volume of the entire figure. All right, how do you think you might do that? Hopefully you said, I'm going to find the volume of the cylinder, and then I'm going to find the volume of the hemisphere, and then I'm going to add them together. All right, so let's find the volume of the cylinder first. Volume of the cylinder. And do you remember that formula? Yeah, of course you do. Volume equals the area of the base times the height for a cylinder. Well, first I have to find the area of the base, which is that circle there on the bottom. And I find that by saying pi r squared. Alrighty, now r I'm going to substitute in. So I get pi. And then my radius we said is 6 squared. And that's going to give me, I know that 6 squared means 6 times 6. So I'm going to do 6 times 6 and I get 36 times pi. And I'm just going to leave it like that for right now. All right, the next thing I have to do is okay, so I'm still finding the volume of the cylinder. The next thing I have to do, I have found the area of the base, so now I have to multiply that times the height. So if I know that volume equals the area of the base times the height, the area of the base we just found out is 36. And now I'm going to go ahead and substitute in 3.14 for pi. Remember, that is not exactly pi. It's an approximation of pi because the decimal for pi goes on forever. All right, and then the height of this figure we said is 13. So now I'm just going to stick all that in my calculator. I'm going to say, well, wait a minute. It's too dark in here to turn my calculator on. There we go. 36 times 3.14 times 13. And I get, dun, 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 1,469.52. And I'm not going to worry about units yet because I'm not done yet. All right, and that was the cylinder. Okay. Now I'm going to find the volume of the hemisphere. All right, well, I know that the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. I'm kind of running out of room, aren't I? So I'm just going to substitute in what I know. I know 4. I know that pi is 3.14, or that's what I'm going to use. And then I know that the radius of that hemisphere is 6. So it's 6 cubed, and then all of that over 3. So right now I'm just finding the volume of a sphere, okay? And I'm going to erase this little 3.14 over here so we don't get confused. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stick in my calculator. Now watch how I do this. This might be a trick for you too. I'm going to do 4 times 3.14, and then I'm going to say times 6 times 6 times 6. Now why did I do 6 3 times? Because I know that 6 cubed means 6 times 6 times 6. So I just stuck it in my calculator like that. And then I hit enter. All right. Now, I haven't done anything with the divided by 3 yet. So I'm just going to write the answer I got in my calculator, and it was 2,712.96. Now I still have to divide that by 3. Now my calculator keeps that answer in there, so all I have to hit is divided by 3, and I get 904.32. All right, well that's good, except I have one more problem, don't I? We found the volume of a sphere, but we're only dealing with a hemisphere or half of a sphere. Since I have half of a sphere, what can I do to the volume of the sphere to find the volume of a hemisphere or half of a sphere? If you said divide that by 2, you're exactly right, because we know that half just divides something into 2 equal parts. So when I divide that number by 2, I get 452.16. And now I've written completely all over this slide. So that's the volume of the hemisphere. All right, but they want to know the volume of this entire figure. So now I'm going to have to write that on here somewhere. How about right here? I know that the volume of the cylinder is 1469.5 or 1469.5. I'm going to add the volume of the hemisphere, which is 452.16, to find the volume of the entire figure. And when I put that in my calculator, I got 1,921.66. Now remember, when we're talking about volume, we're talking about cubic units. So this is going to be cubic inches or inches cubed. So there were 3 steps here. We had to find the volume of the cylinder. We found the volume of the hemisphere. And then we found the volume of the 2 of them added together. All right, I hope that helps. Good luck on number 34.